Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for joining us here today. I'm Kenzo D,
And I'm Amy.
and we are your 2026 TGS Graduation MCs.
Graduation is one of, no, the most important part of TGS.
And before we start, I would like to inform you guys that if there was ever a fire hazard, the exit's that way, and if it's somehow blocked, there's always the lake. Mamie, where were we again? Oh yeah, this is a time when we celebrate years of hard work, growth, and the questionable decisions made at 9:30 in maths. It is also quite an emotional point for all of us. Teachers, students, parents, you get the gist. Mamie, are we rambling?
We? Anyway, you guys came here to see your kids graduate, so let's stop talking before we cry on stage and get this show on the road.
TGS has one goal in mind: to make change. None of this would have been possible without an incredible group of people supporting us along the way.
We'd like to give a round of applause to the board and the leadership team: Joe, Ash, James, Lisa, Mark, Simon, Jen, and Zoe for helping make that goal a reality.
TGS may seem to run smoothly, almost suspiciously smoothly. And that's because there's an amazing team working tirelessly behind the scenes, coordinating the chaos, and somehow making it look all effortless.
So thank you to the remote staff for orchestrating all events.
Thank you, Heather, for making sure our travels go safe and sound.
Thank you, Colleen, for always making sure everyone's okay and magically handling all the mysterious paperwork.
Thank you, Folami, for making sure finances run smoothly.
Thank you, Mel, for making sure we have the most incredible bunch of students every year.
Thank you, Lee, for making sure people know what's going on.
Thank you for Tashi for fixing our statuses, maybe one too many times.
Thank you, Clara, for connecting people, making things happen, and being everywhere all at once.
Thank you, Rebecca, for welcoming new faces into the chaos with impressive patience. So please, let's give a round of applause for our off-site staff.
TGS is a traveling school, and with it comes its traveling people. Our educators deserves medals, naps, and probably therapy after living alongside us.
They've mastered the impossible art of supporting us, listening to our many concerns, keeping us mostly on track, and somehow surviving life with a traveling group of teenagers.
So thank you, Maria, Kelsey, Leticia, Che, Heidi, Mario, Matt, Sila, Sam, Shasta, Aoife, Sophie, and of course Emma, for teaching us, guiding us, supporting us, and making TGS what it is.
So please, let's give the biggest round of applause to our on-site staff.
And on that note, we would like to welcome our very famous graduates. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Take this with us. And now, a warm welcome to Joe, the myth, the legend, and the person who made this entire journey possible.
Oh, gracious. Here we are again. Somehow this never gets any easier. You have to give me a moment. Figure this out. So, welcome. First of all, can we just take a moment to sit in awe at our grade 12 speakers from Symposium the other day? That was incredible. Every one of you spoke with such wisdom and profound love. I was literally shaking at the end. and ugly girl crying. I honestly could not be prouder of you. You have shown TGS in its best light. Thank you. To all of you for the effort and the courage and the love that you put into those speeches. You really stepped up and raised the bar. I hope that this experience has shown you how truly unknowable and unlimited your potential is. And we know that you didn't get there on your own. So Jen, thank you. That was impressive. Talking about impressive, can we get a big thank you for all the educators and the hard work that they've put in this year? I'd like you all to stand up and turn around. No, the teachers, not all of you. The teachers stand up. The educators stand up. You know, teaching at Think Global School is no easy feat. So thank you for all of the time and the love that you've put in. At TGS, there are always three things that are true. We never have enough time to fit everything into the schedule. Teenagers will always find excuses, and things change. This end of year, we have quite a few staff leaving us. These wonderful humans have not only been in charge of your academics, they've been the guiding light of your lives. But firstly, while not a goodbye, but a moment to acknowledge Emma and a hello to her new role at TGS, she is moving from in-country coordinator to program manager. So you won't be seeing her on the ground as much, but she'll still be managing movements from behind the scenes. And now to goodbyes. First, two of our off-site staff. Melanie, head of admissions. None of you would be here without Mel. She has been the first gate and face of TGS that you had to pass by. She saw something in each one of you, from the moment your applications arrive until the day you step into Think Global School. She has worked tirelessly to make every step of the way as smooth as possible. She clearly has a talent for seeing talent. Heather, our global travel coordinator. You all may not know it, but Heather has been with TGS for 15 years. She has had one of the most challenging jobs at Think Global School. Nope, not looking after all of you. And nope, not trying to figure out the schedule. Visas. She has been the quiet, behind-the-scenes machine in getting you all in and out of host cities. Being woken up throughout the night by students stuck in random airports is not something she's probably going to miss. So thank you, Heather, for all your hard work and dedication. And now to our on-site staff. To Heidi, our pun queen. Thank you for bringing such joy and such eye rolls to Think Global School. You have an unrivaled wit and piercing intellect that, in all honesty, has intimidated me since we first met. Ash and I tried using AI to come up with some puns to send you off with, but even the robot said, nope, she's too pun-stoppable, nothing even comes close. Matt, where's Matt? There you are, Matt. You are an amazing human whose mind maps out the world in the most organized way, and then you capture it all in magnificent videos and photographs. All of our most magical TGS moments have been captured by you. Even though you don't hold the title of educator, you are a gifted one. You seem to have a never-ending reservoir of talent that you keep pulling from at the most random times, from digital technologist, photographer, videographer, to a master scuba diver, master of survival skills, and a polyglot, to name a few. You keep saying that you don't know what you don't know, but you obviously know a lot more than we know. Sophie, your quiet elegance and grace inspires us. You are so poetic and creative. You are a shining light that sees beauty all around you and thinks deeply about the world. You impart wisdom beyond your years. Your journey from Columbia years ago has taken you from intern to expert. You set the bar high and you help everyone reach it. Kelsey, a true mountain of a man. Physically, your strength is so obvious to all of us, but it's your inner strength, your quiet strength, that is what holds true impact. You are a Renaissance man for true. There is no mountain you can't climb, no depth of thought you won't go to, no poem you won't write, or inspiring photo you won't take. And all of this hanging off the edge of a rope. So Kelsey, climb on. Shasta. Your smile is the light that leads the way for so many of our students. Your belief in their potential has created bonds of trust that have helped them forge new paths. Your Tough Tummy Tuesday will never be forgotten, and your nurturing nature has helped so many students be brave in the discovery of who they truly are. No mountains, no valleys is the motto you live by, and I cannot wait to see the next mountain that you climb and the lives that you impact. To Sam. Sam, thank you from the bottom of my heart for stepping up and stepping in to help hold this school together in its most challenging time. Your calm, gentle strength has made us all feel safe. There is no better listener than you, and you've always made sure that all voices are heard. Your patience is legendary. In particular, your patience with me is legendary. We will miss your smile, your laugh, your rapping skills, and definitely your sense of style. You are by far the best and most stylish teacher. You are the most stylish of any of our staff ever. Thank you all. Thank you all for the time, the love, the patience, the love, the lessons, and the integrity, and the love that you have given to TGS right up until the very end. I will never forget that. You are a huge part of our family, and it's always hard to leave, but you will be so missed. Just know that. Now, on to a little JoJo wisdom. So, you've been asked this question your whole life in 100 different ways. Who am I, and what is my purpose? It's on the college applications. It's in the tell me about yourselves icebreakers. It's hiding in every so what are you going to do next from adults who mean well but slightly terrify you. These are important questions to ask and very hard questions to answer, because we'd love to believe that there's one definitive answer, one dream job, one big moment. And once we get to that answer, we'll finally be happy or successful. But here's something that nobody really tells you. I have found that the answers to these questions can only be found in the asking of a very different question. And that question is, who are we? And how does my I belong inside that we? Because who am I on its own is lonely. Who are we is where life actually starts to get interesting. So grade 12s, because this is your graduation, let's talk about you. I want you to think about the Yukon. Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourselves back there. It's a beautiful day. The river is flowing. We're in our canoes moving down that river. The trees are swaying on both sides. There's laughter in the air. You don't really know each other. You've only just met. You're feeling each other out, sizing each other up. You're from different countries. You speak different languages. You've had different life experiences. And here you all are in the wilds of Canada, in these canoes, floating down a river. And there's a part of you that kind of feels a little bit alone. Day 2, or maybe day 3. It's cold and it's raining and it's miserable. You still have to paddle those canoes through the rain. Your hands are freezing. You're drenched to the bone. You get to shore. You have to pull all your stuff out of those damn canoes, and it's still raining. Now you have to lug everything up that hill. We get to that enclosure, and it wasn't even enclosed, and it is still raining. To add to the misery, there's a wasp's nest up on that roof. And we can't even stand underneath it. And it's still raining. And the staff are trying to put up some kind of cover, and it is so cold. You're all shivering and you're all cuddled up together, but somehow still feeling alone and wondering what on earth you're doing here and why it's so miserable, and that this wasn't what I signed up for. Unless, of course, you're Ben or Itan. Now, in your mind, fast forward to tonight. Look around at your classmates. Look at your educators. What do you feel for them? What would you do for them? How much are you going to miss them? So how did you get from there to here? How did that happen? You all made that happen, right? We all made that happen. We built a community, a loving, kind, wonderful community. When you first stepped off that plane to start your journey at TGS, you had no idea what this was going to feel like. Yet slowly, step by step, conversation by conversation, experience by experience, you each played a part in building this little community that now some of you, I hope, are probably very sad to be leaving. So today I want to highlight the importance of community and the integral part that you play in it. Each one of you is such an important part of making a community work. Your gifts, your talents, your grit, showing up again and again, even when it got hard. But why do we form communities? What's the benefit? First off, we need them to survive, right? We are built for cooperation and collaboration. You literally would not be sitting here without other people helping you get to this point. But honestly, for me, I think it's because it feels good. Our deepest desire is to belong, to be appreciated, to feel like we are contributing in a meaningful way, to feel like we matter, to be noticed, to be listened to be heard, to feel like we've made a difference in someone else's life. We hunger for human interaction, for relationship, and for partnership. We are not built for isolation. We have a fear of irrelevance. We want to add value, and above all, we want to feel safe. But what is a community? It's a group of people who have a set of common values across cultures and ages. If you look at the research, you can name a short list of values that keep appearing over and over and over again, from indigenous villages to modern cities, from ancient practices to contemporary conversations. All of these we've brought into TGS, some in very deliberate ways and others just by living them. There are 8, and you need all 8 of these to make a community work. They are a sense of belonging and inclusion, reciprocity and mutual care, respect and dignity, voice and self-determination, a connection to land and place, a shared purpose and story, safety and stability, learning and continuity. These are what make a great community. Basically, it's a bunch of people who you know have got your back, who you know want the best for you, and who know you want the best for them. We cannot be the best versions of ourselves, reaching into our potential, without community, without the other, without support. We absolutely need people to believe in us and to be our mirror, people to reflect back at us what we may not be able to see in ourselves. And we need to show up and be that for others. That is what gives our life purpose. Community feels good. It feels expansive. And here's the secret. Putting your soul, your creativity, and your love in the way you show up for one another is how you are truly going to find out those answers to who am I and what is my purpose. So now we're going to picture this again. You're sitting around a campfire in Botswana. You've just walked out onto the salt pans at sunset. You feel that salt crunching under your feet. It's cold here as well, and you've got this fire started, and you're sitting around this campfire and you're telling stories and you're laughing and you're eating cookies and drinking hot chocolate. You're having deep, meaningful conversations. You may not agree with everything that everyone says, but you're curious about everybody's perspective and you're open to having that discussion. You feel safe and happy. You're not wondering about posting this on Instagram or what somebody has said on TikTok or what email has come through. You breathe in that cold night air, and the biggest problems you're trying to figure out are how you're going to manage to pee in the middle of the night and how you're going to keep that fire burning. Someone tells a beautiful story, and someone else picks up a guitar and starts singing. You lean back, you look at the stars, you take a deep breath, and you wonder, wow, how did I get here? You are filled with a deep sense of awe and gratitude. You look around and you see others who are just like you, curious, a little bit afraid, but brave. You know that you can be vulnerable and you can trust this crew and that they have your back, that they are all learning and growing together, and that you also know that in helping each other becoming the best versions of themselves helps the community as a whole. And you hope that this bond, this community, and this feeling will last forever. And here you are now sitting in Athens. You're about to graduate and you're about to go and step out on a whole new adventure. It's scary to leave because now you've got to go out and you've got to do it all over again. But here's the thing. Now you know what it feels like. You know in your bones what a sense of community feels like. You felt what it means to live Ubuntu. I am, because we are. I have one ask of you as you leave TGS. Take this feeling of community. Take this sense of Ubuntu with you. The knowing that your life is bound up in the lives of others. Take it and share it. Build communities wherever you go. Enjoy being face to face. Enjoy the laughter. Enjoy the comfort of other people. Enjoy the feeling of belonging, the meaning that you bring. Enjoy the conversations, the discussions, the disagreements, the resolutions. Enjoy your contribution and tell others how much theirs means to you. Then teach others, because as normal as this experience has become for you, sadly these days it's not normal. People are losing the skills to properly relate to one another. They're losing the skills to create community, but it's the thing that they long for most in life. We need to make a deliberate effort to create community where it used to be a natural thing. From around the fire to dinner table conversations, we were forced into it. Today, distraction and isolation are just too easy. And remember, nobody owes you anything. You are responsible for your own engagement in the community. You choose to show up. You choose to lean in. Every advancement we've made throughout history, technological, philosophical, spiritual, and emotional, we have made in collaboration with others, supporting one another in communities. So spend time thinking about who am I, but always keep asking who am I in relation to we? Because it's in that space between I and we that your most authentic life will actually happen. So when you feel lost, when the plans fall apart, when everyone else seems to know exactly what they're doing and you don't, come back to this and ask yourself, who are my people? Right? How am I showing up for them? And how are they shaping me? If you keep building communities where people feel seen, safe, and brave enough to grow, if you keep choosing connection over isolation, the who am I and the what is my purpose will arrive not as one big moment. They will quietly reveal themselves day by day in how you love, how you show up, and how you build the we around you. So that is my hope for you, that wherever you go next, you don't just choose a life that looks impressive from the outside. You build a life that feels true on the inside. Because you have the courage to belong to something bigger than yourself. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Joe. And now, before we officially begin, we would like to welcome our incredible principal to the stage to say a few words.
Okay. Most people think a school year is defined by the big moments, graduation, showcase, symposium. But after traveling the world with this incredible group of young people, I stand firm in the belief that our lives are shaped far more by the small moments. I didn't realize I was going to get this emotional. Goodness, let me ground. I'm talking about the moments like an impromptu conversation in the student residence, shared laughter over catered meals, a really good playlist on a long bus ride. It is in those small moments that we realise what really matters in life. When we look at our seniors graduating today, there are so many more moments we collectively have shared with them. Ben, at our rite of passage back in Botswana, you invited me to walk around the fire with you and welcomed me into the TGS community. Kenzo, you taking the time to share with me your mastery project, that immersive underwater VR game, and showing me that learning can literally take place anywhere. Sandy, before I'd even begun here at TGS in an official capacity, I got to watch you deliver a talk in Florence with such confidence and clarity that I could already feel the excitement of the year ahead. Aitan, sitting beside you in the back of a rickshaw, navigating busy Mumbai streets on the way to go and pick up a sitar for your personal project. Shangri-La, watching you on the Makharikari salt pans get in and out of game drive vehicles while wearing a moon boot and still on crutches. Mutu, sitting with you over a shared meal and you telling me about your family, especially your mum and your sisters, and how important they are to you. Huxley, walking with you at 7:30 a.m. in the morning through the empty streets of Athens to go and accompany you to sit a mathematics exam. Liam, over a meal of dal and rice in India, you sharing with so much excitement about a yoga class you just attended. Annie, eating ice cream with you late one night in Mumbai before an airport run, and you explaining to me why you always pack your UGG boots for term. Natasha, sharing a pizza with you. Maya, sitting together with you at breakfast in Mumbai while you shared your photography portfolio from your internship, having just returned from Pune. Chema, watching you dance during the Day of the Dead celebrations in a Zompa village with such joy, enthusiasm, and celebration, and just that pure joy of the moment, and just dancing. Now, these moments may seem small, but in the end, they are the experience. Because life is rarely about one big moment. The beautiful thing about life is that it changes slowly through the accumulation of moments of kindness and courage, patience and humour. And these experiences, small moments that we all share with each other along the way, are the things that make life purposeful and real. All of us here this evening have shared so many of those moments, those beautiful and fleeting moments with this graduating class. Looking back on our first week together, waking up under the stars under the salt pans in Botswana, none of us fully knew what this year would become. At the time, we probably thought the adventure would be defined by the destinations and the countries and the landmarks, those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities and experiences. But somewhere along the way, we realised what truly stays with us are the smaller moments in between. The conversations, the laughter, the moments of kindness, support, and unexpected joy. The feeling of belonging somewhere unexpected. These small matters matter. And years from now, I suspect there'll be things you remember most clearly too. Not only of the places, but also of the people you've met along the way. So to this graduating class, as you step out into a world that is constantly telling you to chase the next big title, the next big salary, or the next big milestone, I challenge you to look for the small moments. Cherish the conversations with the people you love. Embrace the detours when your flights get cancelled. And find that poetry in the messy, uncomfortable middle. And wherever life takes you, I hope you never become too busy, too ambitious, or too grown up to notice the small moments. Because they were never small at all. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to start off by asking you, what is excellence? Think about it. In Chinese, it translates to 卓越. It can also be a value, such as areti in Greek, or even an act, like the construction of the Saturn V rocket. But to me, it's the 11 outstanding individuals sitting in front of me. TGS is originally presented to us as the world's first traveling high school, an institute to foster creativity and ambition, as well as understanding of our world. And it's funny, because each time someone asks me where I go to school, that's exactly how I described it. Until I asked myself the same question. What is TGS? It's a place where everyone's walls break down. You get to know people who are different from you. You begin to learn more about yourself. You change. You grow. It's a space that allows me to say, amongst others, I'm a better person now. I'm a better person because of you. I've always stood by the point that human interaction is the best measure of personal growth. Without my long academic competition with Mutu, or Chema's constant smile and good attitude, I cannot see who I am today. At TGS, we often talk about Ubuntu, and I know some students probably think I'm corny right now for bringing it up. In Zulu, it translates to humanity, and means I am because we are, evoking a theme of community in TGS. But to me, it means Huxley and Maya, laughing at jokes only they understand. Or Ben and Nathan, walking barefoot side by side through every single country we travel to. At Think Global School, I have sat through countless lessons. And no, these weren't weekly scheduled events. Instead, it was learning grit by watching Annie calculate each millimeter of the architectural models she built. It was learning patience and calmness by sitting next to Shangri-La at 10 p.m. on a motionless and broken sailboat in the middle of nowhere. One of my favorite lessons was how to get inspired. I learned that each time I sat down next to Sandy. Her hard work and passion inspired me to study STEM. She doesn't know it, but her dedication fueled mine. This place has also taught me love. Through Natasha and Kenzo, I spoke and listened to them for hours. But beyond our conversations or laughs, it was their kind hearts, exciting personalities, and universal benevolence that were the catalysts for the person I am today. Lastly, I learned about friendship. And what made this lesson so special is that friendship at TGS was a route that branched across the entirety of our school. Whether it was Kelsey teaching me to climb and laughing when I fell, Kenzo D kissing my arm in his sleep, or singing Sam's song to him at least 3 times each term. All these unique memories we each hold help shape who we are today. So look at a friend close to you and thank them for their positive impact on the human you are today. As I'm giving this speech, I'll also take the opportunity to say I help all of you grow too. TGS is a spark that ignites the hidden embers within all of its students. It empowers each of our embers to grow into a bright, bright flame. TGS is a home that allows each flame to spread along its walls and beyond to the rest of the world. The answer to my question was markedly different from what I often tell people about TGS. Learning to reflect and question ourselves is the greatest lesson we, as a graduating class, have learned from this institution. TGS has always been more than just the world's traveling high school. We just had to live through it to realize that. So today is the day that all of us get to reflect on what we've learned and prepare ourselves to use these lessons for our future endeavors. We've been through a roller coaster over the past 2 or 3 years, filled with fear, sadness, loss, happiness, curiosity, and change. But I'd like today, our last moments together, to be steadily filled with celebration. Thank you. And on that note, I'd like to talk about one of my closest friends, my best friend at the school. There's a game I like to play called Skyblock. I never really told anyone I played over 100 hours of the game because then people would think I'm weird. Then I met Kenzo, the man with over 1,000 hours documented on this video game. I can safely say that Kenzo is the weirdest character I've met, but the best type of weird. He's a person with whom I share a love for climbing, escape rooms, and video games. And beyond those 1,000 hours, there's dedication, interest, passion, love, and intelligence. I've always admired him for who he is, and I want to make sure he doesn't forget that. He's not only a great friend, but he's also a great human being. Kenzo's always lending a helping hand, and I'm sure all of you know. He's always pushing himself and working harder than everyone else. Congratulations for being the first to graduate, by the way. The funny thing is, Kenzo and I didn't really interact in our first year, but I think that's because great things take time. A great friendship takes time. I don't know where I'd be without Kenzo today, and vice versa, I hope. And you might ask me why we're such good friends. Well, it's because Kenzo and I will die young, as late as possible, together. Come up, Kenzo.
Three long years at Think Global School. Somehow, those years feel both incredibly long and impossibly short. Time has a strange way of doing that. But what I know for certain is that I've been fortunate enough to share those years with some truly remarkable people. One of those people is the person I have the honor and pleasure of introducing today. To me, Shangri-La is one of the kindest and most genuine people I've met. She carries a quiet strength about her, a passion that comes not from seeking recognition, but from a deep and authentic interest for the things that matter to her. She's not someone who boasts about her accomplishments or draws attention to herself. In fact, I'd almost forgotten just how extraordinary her passion for Wales is until I watched her symposium presentation the other day. Seeing her speak reminded me of how inspiring it is to witness someone care so deeply about something and pursue it wholeheartedly, even more so with a shared interest. Thank you, Shangri-La, for being a quiet and kind presence, for continuing to move forward regardless of who is watching, and for inspiring those around you simply by being yourself. My fellow underwater photographer, dedicated student, and inspiring whale expert, I am proud to graduate alongside you. Whether you joined us online or in person, whether you were awake, still waking up, or asleep, thank you for being part of my TGS journey. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the stage, Shangri-La.
Wow, Kenzo, thank you for that beautiful speech. When I think of Chema, the first thing that comes to mind is how he got a score of 150 on a boxing machine we went after having KFC in Bosnia. No, just kidding. When I think of Chema, what comes to mind is how much he loves Star Wars and how he's actually down for a full Star Wars marathon. No, just kidding. When I think of Chema, what comes to mind is his sometimes shady sense of humor and his music taste, which is exclusively hard rock. Okay, sorry, that was too many just kiddings. I've known Chema for 3 years now, and what actually comes to mind when I think of Chema is how unapologetically himself he is. In a world where so many people in a world where so many people spend their lives fitting into expectation, Chema has always seemed committed to being authentic. No matter if it's through small moments where he demonstrated care, or just the way he has conversations, Chema has always shown a sense of sincerity that is very rare but refreshing. It is the way of him embracing the things that he loved without hesitation that's always something I feel like I could learn from. Chema's creativity is something else I constantly learn from. And by that, I don't mean when you created a tank-themed artwork and no printing store would print it in Sarajevo. Chema finds fascination in places others might not think to look. And that curiosity gives him a perspective that is entirely his own. He inspires me to be more true to myself, and I think that's so true that we all need someone like that in our lives. Congratulations on graduating, Chema. I can't wait to see where life takes you. And knowing you, it's probably somewhere super random, but accomplishing big things.
There is no easy way to talk about Eitan Gobi, as he is many things: kind, chill, understanding, a bit of a pusher, a guitar player, the master of boards, whether it be on the road or on the waves that he holds near and dear. I know because he taught me. He is also my friend, a believer, and the only person with such an unrelenting and unyielding spirit, and with such an unbreaking willpower. Although he farts a lot, I like to remember all the other cool things as well from my ton. But most importantly, he's a free soul, freer than any other person I've met in my life. He is what this world desperately needs more of. So please, ladies and gentlemen, as if you were in your favorite artist concert, give an applause, the hugest applause you've ever needed to give in your life, to Eitan Gobi, please.
What's up, guys? Long time no see. Okay. The act. The act of trying to describe Ben is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to try to do in my life. To those who know him, I'm sure they'll agree with me on the fact that he isn't one easily described in words or in a speech or in anything else. Ben is very intentional with his time, his energy, and the people who he hangs out with. And that's one of the biggest things that he's instilled in me in our relationship. Is what I do with my energy, where I put it. He's not somebody that you can meet once for lunch and think that you've got him all figured out. That's not possible with Ben at all. To ever, and I mean ever, truly have a chance at knowing Ben, you'll have to find yourself in some sketchy, uncomfortable, and or relatively life-threatening situations. Trust me. In his presence, you're asked, without him ever having to say a single word, to confront your fears, doubts, lies, excuses, limiting beliefs, as he kicks you, ever so lovingly, with a smile upon his face, right in the butt, off of the cliff, into the shark-infested, frigid waters below. This is metaphorically speaking, he hasn't actually done this. Yet. Growth mindset. To know him, you've got to laugh with him. You've got to cry with him. You've got to love and bleed with him. You've got to learn life's lessons with him. You've got to hunt, pray, sing, dance. You've got to die a little bit here and there. You've got to see the light, surface for a breath, and then go right back in. That's how it goes. And maybe then, and maybe only then, will you be able to look into the eyes of the man we call Benjamin Becker and see the same truth I do. The truth that I know with absolute, complete certainty, like the sun I see with my eyes right now. I mean, it's over the horizon, but it's there. I see it. I see its thing. Don't worry. There's no other friend, no other brother that I trust with my life as I do with him. So, Benny, I'm welcoming you up on stage, and I say, let's do this. Let's finish this off. I love you.
Tough act to follow right there. When I first came to TGS, Muto was the first person I told my parents about. He was so curious and full of passion to a degree I'd never seen before. Over the following 2 years, I had the privilege of seeing those two qualities bloom into one of the most interesting and wonderful people I've ever had the honor of meeting. Muto is one of the best debaters and speakers I know, and the epitome of a well-disciplined student. However, he is also extraordinarily caring, understanding, and resilient. It is my great pleasure to introduce one of the most capable and well-rounded people I know, Mutundinge.
Thank you for that beautiful speech, Ben. I love you too. Sandy, my best friend. Where do I even start? I spent the past week floored over what to say today. I thought, should I talk about how funny you are? Or maybe how bright the world feels when you shine on it with your little devilish smile? No, 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 no. Perhaps I should talk about how ambitious you are. How strong, scary, and weirdly disciplined I think you are. And then it hit me. Doors. When I think of Sandy, I think of doors. Because I've spent nearly every day of the last 365 leaning on yours. I've discussed world politics at your door. I've drawn up university applications at your door. I've eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner at your door. And we've watched every genre of film and show at your door. I've left my deepest fears and my biggest dreams at your door. And I've cried as you've held me at your door. And through it all, I've had the privilege of watching you go by, confident, glorious, and entirely yourself, while I watched from your doorstep. So, Sandy, here's what I want to say to you specifically. I'm not great at showing people how much I care. I hide it in a lot of sarcasm and way too many bad jokes. But you've given me a door that I keep on coming back to. So I care about you, and an insane amount at that. Please come up. Oh.
That's yours.
Dear Natasha, also known to many as Natty G. I met Tasha for the first time in Vancouver, but only got to grow close with her during Brazil when we were roommates. Brazil was rough for me. I hated the food and the humid climate. Funny, that's because I come from Thailand. But seriously, you being my roommate, inviting me to the beach, and our little walks saved every inch of me that desperately wanted to fly home. Our pillow fight, rage baiting Jesse, and embarrassingly sharing an AirPod and holding hands as we fell asleep every single night. That term was the term where I established you as my sister. Our friendship transpired deeper as we shared our troubles and our joys. Over these 2 years, I had the privilege of watching you grow. Little by little, you became more confident, more courageous, and more willing to take up the space that you deserved. You stopped standing on the sidelines and dared to step up into the scary yet free autonomy of your own will, your own future. What I admire most is not who you were when you arrived at TGS, but who you chose to become. Growth like that doesn't happen overnight. It takes resilience, patience, and the willingness to move forwards even when things are uncertain. You are one of the most competitive and resilient people I know. And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, if there's someone here who is most likely to start their own empire, it would be no one other than Natty G. Not only are you incredibly competent, sorry guys, this is a bit long, Tasha, you are also kind. This kindness extends in your love for horses, your love for your family, and your love for your friends. So thank you for being my friend and for the love you've given me. I will miss our talks, our shared taste in music, and that 2 days we spent in New York listening to CeeLo Green together. But mostly, I will miss your presence, Tasha. As we go our separate ways, my hope for you is that you continue to embrace new experiences with the same courage that brought you this far. You are a star, Tosh. Don't forget that and never let anything try to slow you down. I say this on behalf of myself and every other person in this room. Wherever you will go next, I'm certain you will have your mark there, just like you did at TGS. Love you so much, so please welcome Natasha onto stage.
Thank you, Sandy, for such a sweet speech. Annie. My first interaction with Annie was a conversation, as you'd expect. But it happened through email. On our first day at TGS, Annie was sitting across the classroom from me. We had never even spoken before. Yet, I received an email from her that said, "This is how I communicate with friends." And from that point on, Annie had apparently decided we were friends. Since then, I've been lucky enough to have Annie as my roommate twice. And one thing that has always stood out to me is Annie's dedication. Whether it's the countless hours she puts into her architecture mastery, or the way she somehow manages to wake up at 5 a.m. to study for her APs, practically free falling off the top bunk and waking me up too. Annie really gives everything her full effort. Of course, there are also times when I seriously questioned Annie's judgment. Like the time we were biking through a neighborhood in Vietnam, when suddenly a chihuahua started chasing me down a narrow alley. And this dog really had it out for me. I remember as I frantically tried to bike faster, Annie, for some reason, decided to slow down. I looked over, expecting some kind of help, but instead, she was crying with laughter. While I was balancing on my bike, with both feet in the air, trying to not get attacked by this chihuahua. And to this day, I'm still questioning whether Annie found the situation funny or whether she just wanted to see how it would end. Annie, gum un for the endless laughs, crash outs, and all the random moments that ended up being some of my favorite ones. Wherever you go next in this journey, the people that you will meet are so lucky to be your friend. Please welcome Annie.
Okay. I first met Huxley our first time in Vancouver. I sat down in the common room and in walked a boy with long hair, glasses, and most of all, these ugly Crocs. I was scared of what was to come and never thought I'd make friends as great as the ones I had at home. Well, not at least I introduced myself to this boy, and rather than responding with his own name, he immediately just went, "Annie, are you okay?" And how later that same week, the same boy let a group of people who were practically strangers cut his hair, putting way too much trust in people who didn't have nearly enough experience. These interactions assured me that everything was going to be okay. And as the new students gathered on the roof, and somewhere between terrible jokes that was somehow funny and the "why TGS" conversations, my first impression of Huxley truly formed. He was that maths kid. And you know what they say about first impressions. But Huxley is so much more than just that maths kid. He's so funny that I can get face cramps just from being around him from laughing that much. Or the kind of smart where I don't really fully understand everything he says. Like, I'm sorry, I don't really understand like constraint systems in your mastery really. But most importantly, he's the most caring person and has the ability to make what seems like the worst of the worst seem pretty little through one conversation. Huxley's presence is always known in a room, not because of the way he says yogurt or schedule, but the energy he brings into it. Truly an oasis. Whether he's performing a solo concert, singing and dancing in the corner to himself, or frantically searching for his earbud that he's misplaced, he has the ability to brighten every room. I'll forever miss our movie marathons where we endlessly watch The Notebook on repeat, every karaoke night, from in Rome with the backpackers, in Vietnam with random businessmen, or at the back of buses where there's no music but just our deafening voices. And most of all, the endless jokes we have while trying not to laugh in serious situations. and every single side quest we've been on where we act on as many intrusive thoughts as humanly possible. Huxley, I hope you know the impact you have on others and how much good you bring into those around you. I can't wait to see everything you do in the world. I know you will achieve everything you'll ever dream of. Because you are the most hardworking, authentic, and irreplaceable person in my life. You deserve everything you could dream of. Huxley, has been incredible to watch you grow and become who you've been over the past 2 years. Soy, so proud. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you, especially when I need a last minute McDonald's run, but I know it's fair to let more people have the privilege it is to get to know you. And I know no matter where you are or wherever life takes us, even if we forget, we'll always be in contact and a part of each other's lives. And trust me, I'll make sure of it. Sorry if this speech has gone really long. I'm sorry, Emma, don't kill me. But Huxley is not short and sweet. He's long and savory. So please join me in congratulating the one and only Huxley Lewis!
Maya is not someone that you can sum up in short words. And sadly, I am a man of short words. Maya's been many things and has been through many more. She's been there for me as she's been there for so many people, but I owe her the greater gratitude for being a part of my life. She's helped me grow to who I am today, and in so doing, she's grown greatly herself. Over these last 2 years, I believe that we found that we're much more similar than we'd ever given ourselves credit for. Since we first met in Canada, we've shared many laughs, many complaints, learnings, and inside jokes, as Liam's alluded to. And I think that we found that there are many more ways of living our lives than we'd ever expected. Maya, I couldn't have imagined these last years without you. Please keep giving yourself the gift of meaning when it presents itself to you. You can't get it wrong. Please come to the stage.
Wow. I think the best part of that is that music. It's beautiful. Whoever chose that, thank you. Wow. Okay. Just under 3 years ago, a little scared Maya, that's me, as you can tell, joined her very first TGS term, not so far from here in Bosnia. And on that first day, July 17th, 2023, I took a photo of some historical thing. And in that photo, amongst many other students, was an equally little, however, less scared Liam. Or at least not as scared as I was. However, it was, to be fair, not very hard to be less scared than me, because she was very scared. But even still, little Liam looked so open, bright, and unscared, trying to talk to everyone and soak it all in. Now, this isn't to say that over the past 3 years that I have known Liam, I haven't seen him scared, amongst a lot of other emotions. It is TGS. But it is to say that just like that first day, the one I have seen the most is Liamness. Liamness. Noun. Definition. Like anything is going on. anything that is going on is going to be okay, and like a weight has been lifted. Golden Retriever-esque. Don't get me wrong, Liam can be annoying, weird, and sometimes maybe funny. But even still, it is very rare to leave a conversation with Liam without feeling slightly lighter. So, like Liamness has been transferred to you. Through Bosnia, Brazil, Botswana, and genuinely everywhere in between, we have laughed, cried, yelled, and smiled. And every time in the future I leave a conversation a little more confident or kind or maybe even funny, I will know I have a little more Liamness, even if the conversation isn't with Liam. So I thank you for 3 years, and hopefully the next 4 are even better. Roll blues. So congratulations to a great friend, the inspiration for the word, and the epitome of Liamness, Liam Benji Fossey.
Thank you. Sorry. I'm a bit shaky. And just like that, we've made it to the end.
At the beginning, we said we'd try not to cry on stage. And I think we've mostly succeeded. I'm not quite sure about you guys, but yeah.
Today has been about celebrating everything we've achieved and everything that's brought us together as a community.
To our teachers, staff, families, and friends, thank you all for your support, care, and encouragement along the way.
And to the class of 2026, woo! Congratulations. We are genuinely so proud of you and slightly impressed. Y'all made it here in one piece. We'd like to invite all graduates to please stay on stage for your group photo. We will get an official group photo, and then parents, this is your moment. Feel free to take as many photos as you want.
After that, we will gather everyone together for one big full audience photo.
Once the photos are done, please join us for food and the reception. Stay, celebrate, and enjoy the evening. And congratulations again, class of 2026.
This is our signing off. Thank you. Bye!